Hey everyone, this is Mark. I'm here again with Kelly Cook for another Facebook Live. Kelly, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Mark. I always appreciate it. You're very
Yeah,
gracious.
absolutely. Yeah. So looking forward to this. So, we were talking off camera here. The real estate industry is kind of reinventing itself right now. And, some of these technology companies are looking to get in on the cutting edge and just kind of, work their way into the business, try to see how they can help consumers, help realtors, that sort of thing. And we're actually in a little bit of a unique situation here in Phoenix due to our location and some of the new things that are going on there. So do you want to kind of give us the background of what, the situation here with technology and real estate?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you hit the nail right in the head by saying the industry is starting to reinvent itself, and it's kind of being forced to because it hasn't changed a lot over the past several decades, for that matter. And now you have technology that is starting to enter this industry. That being said, Phoenix, like you mentioned, is the nucleus, the hub, if you will, of all the different disruptors or technology companies that are starting to come in here and wanting to do some sort of disruption to the industry. Now, some of it I think is okay, and some of it is a little concerning. So, if you're someone out there right now who doesn't maybe heard about some of these different companies and technology in the real estate space, but never really paid attention because maybe it doesn't affect you at least right now, hopefully with this one video, this one interview here, you can get all your questions answered. So, that being said, Mark, I guess I would break it down in two different categories. Number one, you have iBuyers. Okay, these are companies that are specifically marketing directly to the person wanting to have a convenient sale. Okay, someone who really values convenience over top dollar. All right, and then you have the other category, which is the discount venture capital backed brokerages. Okay, the companies that come in here and offer some sort of discount by nature for their model to the consumer. That's not new. That's not new. It's been around for many, many, many years. But these people are starting to do the same model by inserting tech so that the actual human being, the agent, has less and less of a role. So that's kind of the two categories overall.
Okay, so and maybe we can step back a little bit. Like, what are the purpose of these companies? Either category there. What's their objective when trying to jump into the industry here?
Yeah, good question. At the end of the day, let's be honest, it's profit, right?
Sure,
It's money, it's
no
dollar
surprise.
bills, and that sort of thing. So, at the end of the day, some people, you have Amazon, right? Amazon's out there and doing obviously a phenomenal job. And then you have, let's say, Nordstrom, right? At the end of the day, even though people could have the convenience of even buying clothes now on Amazon, there's a lot of people who still want to go to Nordstrom and get that more higher end experience, better customer service, better quality of product, that sort of thing. And so, there is a small segment that these tech companies that are coming in will service or serve for the overall market. But it's funny because, like some of the iBuyers, there's three big ones, okay? Opendoor, OfferPad, and Zillow. Zillow is in the iBuyer game, okay? Now, the thing about these three companies and any iBuyer is they have to turn a profit. They're not doing this to create a rental portfolio and hold these properties. They want to turn a profit. So that being said, what are they going to offer you when they come to your house? Right? It's going to be a little bit under market value to some degree, and then they have fees as well. But again, they're targeting the person specifically looking for convenience, not necessarily making the most money for their house, even after fees. So at the end of the day, it's bottom line profit. They have a lot of money backing them, venture capital that is going to hold them accountable. And if they don't make it, they don't make it, and they'll go elsewhere. But a lot of these companies are starting to grow and have success, and they're expanding to other cities across the country. And if they're not in your city right now, they're coming. It's going to be there probably only just a matter of time at this point. So.
Right, and I did want to talk about that expansion that you mentioned. So I'm wondering, what's the situation right now? Like, what percent or what portion of the market share do you think they have, and are they gaining traction?
Yeah, right now in Phoenix, they're about 9 to 10%. Okay, and they've been there for a little while now. So they grew from being at 1-2% up to the 8 to 9, 10% range fairly quick. Could have they plateaued? Maybe we don't know. But again, what we do know is there is a segment of people out there looking to sell a house that's what they want. They don't want to go on the market. They don't want to clean up their house. They don't want to have people coming through the property very often for whatever reason. And so they would rather just, here you go to somebody and away they go. And they move when they want to, that sort of thing. But again, they're leaving money on the table and a lot of it in some cases. So it just depends. It's not a bad idea. We've actually partnered with one of the iBuyers strategically to help, because we come into contact, Mark, a lot of people who are doing the same thing, right? They're valuing convenience as opposed to top dollar or most money in their pocket. So in that situation, we will highly recommend that iBuyer because it fits their model, and the iBuyer will partner with us to make sure that for that broker, so to speak, that brokerage fee, that there's some sort of compensation there for that, which is nice because we're trying to make sure that client ultimately at the end of the day has the best experience, and if that is what they're looking for, then we should give it to them and not try to hide it from them or anything of that nature. So there's ways to work with them, and there's ways to target people that actually want to sell for the most money and in their pocket. And those are the kind of people that obviously we're working with the vast majority of the time.
Sure. So you mentioned some benefits that could come about when working with some of these new technology companies. How about the pitfalls? Have you seen any maybe drawbacks when it comes to that?
Yeah, well, let's go to the second segment. For example, the discount tech, brokerages. Well, their main thing is on the listing side for the seller. Okay. Now, for the buyer's representative, they're participating in the typical normal market share when it comes to the fee for that. But on the seller side, they tend to think that if you just put it up on one website or two, that's going to sell the property like that. And let's be honest, sometimes a very small part of the time that can happen. But they think that's kind of like all the time. And so they'll come in and they'll, a good example, I was at a guy's house the other day who just signed up for one of these discount brokerages. To name a few, they're Purple Bricks, Homey, Knock. Those are the three bigger ones. And this guy just signed up with Purple Bricks. Now, he lives in a community that has a awesome community center, right? Pool, spa, tennis courts, basketball courts, meeting rooms, all kinds of fun stuff that people live in that community really value and want to use. That's why you moved to that community. Well, because of the discount fee that he was paying, the flat fee on the listing side, his agent isn't that involved because he doesn't have time to be, because he has to go do a lot of that to try to make a living. And the photos, albeit I got to give it to him, the photos were nicely done. Could they have been better? Sure, but they were nicely done. Don't get me wrong. But then I looked at him and I go, hey, where's the picture of the community center and the pools and the tennis courts and all the recreational activities, the putting green, all that stuff? And he goes, what do you mean? It's not. He didn't even realize it wasn't on there. So although he had nice pictures of his house, the additional things are lacking. So I said, well, what if there's a guy in Minneapolis, Minnesota right now and it's snowing, we're down here in sunny Phoenix, and it's snowing and he wants to move to Phoenix or buy a second home. And he looks at this property and goes, yeah, property's nice, but for the price, I see other ones that are not as nice. But he does realize there is an awesome community center attached to this property for living in that community. So little things like that, you just don't think of, that will be cut out of the experience, let alone all kinds of different marketing, like demographic online target marketing and search engine optimization, any type of offline print marketing, direct to consumer, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of stuff that gets cut out when you go the discount way, but it's the old adage, right? You kind of get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. So I did want to kind of put you on the spot here. So like on the whole, are you seeing these technology companies that are inserting themselves into the real estate business, do you view that as a good thing, not only for the real estate industry, but also the consumers of the real estate industry?
Ooh, that's a good question. I tell you what, if they're serving a purpose for the community, then yeah, I guess so overall. At the end of the day, though, I think what people can easily lose sight of is that there is a purpose for the actual human-to-human connection, for the actual human real estate agent. Again, granted that they're a good one. Okay, there's plenty of people in this industry that are doing it for all the wrong reasons, part-time, that kind of stuff, right? But if you get a good one, it's invaluable. It's no different than the person who I guess is trying to invest in some stocks, and they can call up E-Trade Financial and place a couple trades and do their own research, and maybe they're extremely smart at that. Maybe they have all the time to research, and that's awesome. But the vast majority of people don't have that time, and most people probably don't have the knowledge either to be able to read a prospectus and know what the PE ratio means, that kind of stuff. So they call the gentleman who went to school many years and has a lot of experience many years investing. And for that, there's a small fee. But the whole thing with professional services, Mark, is that the fee that is charged should be easily covered, and then some, by the amount of money that the client ends up putting in their pocket net, as opposed to the discount up front and leaving money on the table. I mean, that's really the bottom line.
Right. So essentially, it just comes down to you can't fight progress. It's just a matter of using these new technologies intelligently, knowing the best way to go about it. So,
That's exactly
yeah.
right.
I mean, if people want to know a little bit more about some of the specific technologies, the companies that you mentioned, or just in general, what the best situation or best, move for them in their own given scenario would be, what's the best way that they can reach out to you?
Yeah, absolutely. No, thanks, Mark. I mean, at the end of the day, we want to be a hub, right? We want to be the offer hub. If somebody wants to go this route or this route to get their house sold, they can go through us, because we're going to make sure we're strategically aligned with whatever segment of the market that is an option for people to actually sell their houses. So they can get a hold of us at our website at kellycookhomes.com. They can call our office at 480-442-9868. We would love to have that conversation with them and answer any more questions they have about technology and the best way to go about buying or selling a house.
All right, great. A lot of really good information there. So we will see you all next time. Thanks again, Kelly, for jumping on here, answering some of our questions, and we will see you all in a couple of weeks.
Sounds good, Mark.
All
Thanks
right.
for having me as always.
Yep, take care.